Today in our 2018 Hyundai Ioniq, we're going to be taking a look at the Yakima Roof Rack system. Today we're using the Yakima Jetstream Crossbars. We're also using the Baseline towers for Yakima Crossbars. These come in a quantity of 4. We also have the base clip fit kit for the Yakima Baseline Roof Rack. One thing that you'll notice with the Jetstream bars from Yakima is that they're an aerodynamic shape. So it's kind of similar to an airplane wing where the wind's going to come up and around and deflect away. This really reduces wind noise and drag, so you don't have to worry about needing to add a fairing to your roof rack because it's going to be just as quiet on its own. Another thing that they've added with this bar is a sort of cushioned rubber strip that goes inside the bar. A lot of times for our T-Track accessories, there'd be a rubber strip in here that we had to pull out and then cut to length around our accessories. Well, now you can just slide it in. Another nice thing about our Jetstream bars is that they are an extruded aluminum, which means that they're going to be very durable and lightweight. They're also going to be rust and corrosion resistant, so they're going to be looking nice for a long time. And one thing that I really like about these bars is that the ones we're looking at here are black, so they're going to match a lot of exterior trims on your vehicle, like the Ioniq here. It's going to match all the black trim, and it just looks nicer. When we look at our base tower here, there's going to be a little cover that goes over there, and there's a little knockout you can see right there. That's to allow for the Yakima same key system. This is not included, but you can pick it up here at etrailer.com, and you can get that key to like with your other Yakima accessories. So if we take that cover off, you can see the sort of internal mechanism of our Yakima tower. We're going to have 2 bolts to adjust our tower, and this draws our clamp up. So there's going to be a lot of adjustability with this tower to get it fitted perfectly to your Ioniq's roof line. And this also gives us an opportunity to see our custom clamp and that rubber pad. Now the clamp itself is a steel clamp, but it does have a rubber coating on the back side of it. And then our rubber pad, both of those are going to reduce any chance of scratching or abrasions on our Ioniq's roof line. So you don't have to worry about any damage to your roof with this in place. So now let's go over how to install your roof rack system. We already have our front bar installed, but it's going to be pretty much the same process for the rear bar. So let's assemble it together. We already have one of our towers put in place. We'll just get this last one now. So we'll grab our tower, and you'll notice this cutout in the top of it. We need to put in our adapter for the Jetstream bars. So you can see there's some grooves in the top of this that are going to match up with the grooves in the bottom here. We can just snap this into place. You want to make sure that it goes around that bolt inside there. You should hear it snap down in there. So this is going to give us our pitch adjustment, which is how the bar sits on top of the tower. And you can adjust that by using the bolt that's behind this little gray slide out here. To move that out of the way, again, we flip this over, pull out that little slider there, and that'll expose the bolt. But first we need to get our little nut in place. And this is just going to slide in there, and we can start threading that bolt into it. We're using the included tool from Yakima. And per our instructions, we want to make sure that our pitch adjustment is in that second slot there. You can see there's 3 little tick marks. That's going to have it in the middle, or the number 2 position. Going from the front of the foot, that's going to be where you are, front of the tower, that's going to be 2. So 1, 2, 3. And we also need to have our toe adjustment, which is how the tower sits sort of side to side. We also need to have that in the B position, which is also in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten that one down all the way. So now with our nut in place, we can put this into the channel on our Jetstream bar. You just want to make sure that this is loose enough that you can get it slid into the channel. And there's some little notches in there, so just keep it pretty loose for now. And if you kind of tilt it back and forth, that'll help as well. We can get that in place. Now in your instructions, there will be a measurement on how far in on the bar you need to put this. The nice thing about the Jetstream bars is that they actually have those measurements etched into the metal or printed on there. So it's kind of faint, but you can see there's little tick marks. So we'll just get that to the appropriate one there. You're just lining up the edge with the right measurement, and once it's in place, again, you might have to slide out that little gray door to get to your bolt. You can tighten that down fully. Make sure it's still sitting in the middle. And again, we're using that included tool from Yakima, and you'll hear that audible click. That's a torquing tool, so that when it gives you that audible click, that means it's tight enough so you can stop. Now we also need to put our foot pad in place. These will be numbered, so you want to pay attention to the number on there to make sure you have the right one for the right side. And you want to make sure that the arrow is facing out towards the outside of the vehicle. So we can just pop that down in place. And now we're ready to put our bar on. And now that it's on there, we can put on our cap. Again, this is going to match the shape of our bar. You just want to make sure that the bottom part is on the right side and it's going to fit into a little channel on the bottom side. And now we can measure that out to make sure we have it in the right spot. Now for this measurement, you're going to be measuring, or you're going to be going from one fixed point on the front of your rack to the same point on the back. So you can kind of choose wherever you want to make that from. If you want to go from the center of the bar to the center of the bar, it's sometimes easier to go from the back of the bar to the back of the rear bar. So we'll just get that pretty close, and we'll go on the other side and do the same thing there. And then we can grab our clamps and get those in place. Again, these are going to have a stamped number on them, so you want to pay attention to which one goes to the front and rear. So to get that in place, it's going to slide into the little channel on the underside of our tower, and it's going to get hooked into place by that little silver piece there. So you can feel it kind of slide in and then pull down, and you'll know you have it in place. And if we tighten down this bolt, this is going to be what lays it flat, and this bolt is going to be what draws it in. So we'll get this side started and just have it just resting against the roof, and then we'll go to the other side and do the same thing over there. And now that's sitting not totally tight, but just snug enough, and we can do the same process on the other side. So now with it started on our driver's side, we can continue tightening down on the passenger side. And you can see as we're tightening it down, it's starting to really snug down on our roof line. And then there's that audible click. We'll know we have that tight. And one there. We can flip this closed around that bolt. Just has to go past the end of the bolt and then snap into place. Now with that tightened down on this side, we'll finish it up on our driver's side. So now the last step is to put our cover in place. So there's two hooks on the inside. Those are going to sit on those little posts there. So you can get those in place and kind of rotate it up. And it should snap down. Once everything's tight and everything's in place, we can close our doors, load up our favorite accessory, and hit the road. And that'll do it for our look at the Yakima Roof Rack system on our 2018 Hyundai Ioniq.